Alright, what's up everybody? So today's video, I already talked about it recently, we're going to go over the account really quickly. This pretty much marks the 3-month anniversary of the free-to-play account, and we're gonna go a bit over where I am currently with my champions, what the priority was until now, what we've basically accomplished, and what the next steps are going to be just in general, and also the progress. And I gotta say, I'm actually super happy when it comes to the approach. Everything worked out extremely well, and I think this is something that a lot of you guys can totally mirror, especially of course with all of the free champions that you get using the code that you still find in the video description. But there's plenty of other promo codes that we had in the meantime, and also some more free champions that we could get just simply through login rewards, as for example Michelangelo. So let's take a closer look at the account. Again, this is like the 3-month milestone for the free-to-play account, and I gotta say, pretty happy with it. Alright, so the first thing that I actually want to look at is what's coming up next, especially when we're talking around our shards. Now, I told you at the beginning of that journey that you should always wait with your shard pulls until there is a double chance event for any of these shards. And it's actually quite important. Once that you have a super late game account and you're looking for very, very specific champions, then things start to change slightly and you might want to invest your shards in different areas. But right now at the beginning, it's all about getting those extra legendaries and voids. And especially when I, for example, pulled the last Ancient Shard event, that completely changed the landscape of the account, because I got so many chickens, just rares that I didn't need for anything, but also epics that are super, super useful. Up to this point, I got a single champion, a single legendary champion that I pulled, and unfortunately it was Nocta, so not someone that is really useful for me. Helps me in some areas, don't get me wrong. Helps me in some of my arena teams, helps me in maybe also the faction crypts, but that's essentially it. But so once that I'm pulling ancient shards again, I expect that we're gonna get another big bump on the account. Maybe, you know, you pull that epic that you need the entire time. Allure, for example, can be absolutely fantastic. I got a couple of void shards, I got some sacred shards here as well, and the primals. Now I don't really expect too much from the primals right now, but that's roughly where we are. When it comes to fragment summons, I have a couple of shards now for Helmut. That's someone that I definitely want to go for. Dragstar is another one. If you don't use the rewards that you get out of your team arena teams for Dragstar shards yet, you should definitely do that, particularly if you're struggling in the Spider's lair, Spider's Den. So make sure that you pull that shard every single day. I have to admit that with this account, I actually started very, very late on this, and I invested these shards otherwise. I would heavily recommend that if you just start up your own account, that you start to investing into those a bit earlier. Now, there are circumstances where you maybe pull a really nice HP burn champion at the beginning that can help you in the Spider's Den, but if that's not the case, and just generally, those shards are always worth it. Other things that we're obviously going to working for is Empress. It's going to take a while. Quintus, the Life Arena. I have a few random shards here all together, but the two that I'm really looking for the most is currently Archmage Helmut and also Dragstar. So those are the two. Helmut is fantastic for crowd control. He's someone that I'm going to benefit once that I get there. It's going to take a while, but that's essentially where we are. So when it comes to the progress, one thing where I have to admit I was slacking a little bit is when we're talking about the Arbiter missions. Now, I'm not getting the reward here just yet because there's a new arena event starting in just a day, and I want to have the rewards and also maybe a chance to get into the top 3. I will tell you later why exactly that is currently highly unlikely, but I still want the extra rewards. And then I'm going to start working more and more on the Arbiter missions. Getting Arbiter is an absolute game changer. So if you haven't started working on your own Arbiter missions yet, or you've been slacking there, I highly recommend that you dive into this a bit more, because Arbiter is incredible, she's amazing, and she's going to help you a lot in basically all areas of the game, particularly when it comes to the arena matches, obviously. So with that out of the way, let's take a quick look at the Great Hall progress. Currently, I'm investing most of what I have into accuracy. This is also for some of the missions where you need to have some of them on level 10. So I'm currently sitting at 640 medals, but it's all going into accuracy first. And this is something that I would recommend that you do that too. You can carpet a couple of the level 1s and level 2s just for the other bonuses that will help you. But initially, my recommendation would be dump everything into accuracy. That's going to keep you busy for a long time, and then afterwards crit damage is probably what should be your next step, but you're going to work on that for a long time. Now, area bonuses to Life Arena, I think all the potion keeps, the faction wars, most of this stuff you can skip. Faction wars might be the exception, because faction wars you also have the hard level now, not only the normal level. So you could actually start investing into this. I might invest into my faction wars benefits a little bit, just because those hard stages are so difficult that this is a bonus that is quite worth it. Everything else, I don't really think that you need to do that. There is also hard stages for all of these, but I don't think that's really worth investing in. Faction Wars is where I would make an exception. Everything else, I believe Doom Tower is a very nice area to invest into. Demon Lord battles, wouldn't go too high here, but a couple of basics at the beginning until you can hit Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare rewards is quite nice, but I wouldn't go too high on the levels, at least at first. Hydra battles, Sand Devil, Phantom Shogun's Grove, and Cursed City, those are usually the ones where you will probably benefit from all of these upgrades a lot longer and where you should invest a little bit more. So keep that in mind. Again, it's going to take ages with Live Arena, but you got to start somewhere, so that's essentially where we are. So let's take a quick look at the champions that we currently have. Now, I have currently 5 champions on 60. There's not really all that much. Normally, when you're... It's a little bit of a weird one. You have a lot of people that start raid and they are just getting everything to 50. They don't focus on the right champions, and that's always a bit of a problem. And then you have others, you know, that just completely overdo it with what they're leveling up to 60. So, as explained before, the number one rule usually is to get as soon as possible a level 60 champion, and you want to broaden out. If you have now played over the last couple of weeks, you have Michelangelo, and if you used my codes, then you also have Alice. These are your first 2 level 60s. They're going to carry your entire account at the beginning, and they're going to be incredible. So those are absolutely worth getting to 60. Gorm for me was a huge help. It's a lot of wave control that I have when I go through dungeons. I have also Morik who's helping me, and I talked a lot about Frozen Banshee and how she's super important not only for my clan boss teams, but also for the Dragon's Lair, and she was totally worth it. Now from here on out, things become a little bit more tricky. I upgraded a fair share of champions to level 50, and they're doing really well there. But the question really becomes, with resources that you have, what should be your next level 60? Now, I gotta admit I have a lot of champions here that eventually I will get to 60, 100%. They're absolutely worth it, especially when we're talking about Pan, when we're talking about Duedan here, Ugo as well, Vorgoth, even High Cartoon. There's a lot of them. But you always have to ask yourself, what is really the crucial thing that I need right now? The reason why I upgraded some of these already to 50 is because they have a huge impact on faction wars for me, and they help me in some other areas of the game, like for example secret rooms that I have in the Doom Tower, and on top of that also the Cursed City. So this is where it starts to become a bit more interesting to get more champions to 50, but you really need to be stingy at the beginning of who you put to 60. Currently I have essentially 2 that I'm thinking about. Ugo will eventually make it to 60. I personally thought he would be on 60 at this point already, so he's likely going to be my next one, unless I get a new legendary drop somehow through pulls. And then I have also Phoenix, who as a damage dealer could also help a lot here. But that's kind of the general idea of champions that we have currently. As I just clicked through them, you probably have now also seen that I have a lot more items that are 6-star. Not everything is 6-star yet. I'm still running around a lot with 5-star gear, particularly when we're looking at the 5-star champions that are still mainly used in faction wars. But I got a ton of especially speed gear, and I still have some left. I still need to upgrade a lot. But these Dragon Lair runs that I've been doing at the beginning, they've absolutely been worth it. So the high focus on the Dragon's Lair at the beginning of your account career is absolutely crucial, because speed set is something that is very universal. You can use it on nearly all of your champions, and it will help you a lot to just equip them properly and then excel in other areas of the game. So that approach has been working exceptionally well for me, and one of the big stars in that regard was Frozen Banshee. So once that you pull one of her, you should definitely start investing into Frozen Banshee. I'm still lacking an amulet, but she's already absolutely crushing it. So very, very happy with the progress there. I have also all of these, by the way, maxed in masteries. We haven't really gone over masteries too much on any of the individual champions, but most of these guys are currently fairly maxed out. And when we're talking about dungeons, I would say that outside of slowly progressing through potions, the Minotaur's Lair is something that you want to max first and get a composition that really can help you here, and then farm that. and then afterwards it's really about the Dragon Slayer. So I'm farming stage 24. I have never even attempted stage 25. There's honestly no reason. If you can farm stage 24, that's all you have to do for your events and tournaments, and they're working very, very well. Now when it comes to the Ice Golems peak, I gotta say, I really don't care about it. None of these artifacts drops here are in any way, shape or form interesting to me. Yes, retaliation, reflex and crit rate can sometimes be interesting, but it's nothing that I would intentionally farm. So this is something that I will eventually complete if I have missions that force me to go a little bit higher, but I really don't care about the Ice Golems peak. I don't invest any time here right now, and this is a dungeon that might as well not exist. I will at some point, when my champions are stronger and stronger, just auto-complete all of the stuff, especially when I have missions coming up, but it's not something that I'm going to farm for items, so it's pretty much out. Spider's Den is a little bit similar. I would love to farm this because it gives a lot of silver when you sell the accessories, and I still need a lot of accessories, but as I said at the start, you should invest all of your clan coins in the clan shop into accessories, and that's how I get a lot of mine, and it works okay-ish. It's not amazing, but I'm lacking the HP burn champions that would really help me to break through, let's say, at a minimum stage 20. And I'm not gonna get there, not with the lineup that I have right now. So this is taking a bit of a step back. I will farm this once that I get a champion that can really help me here properly and makes this a little bit easier for myself, but it's not really needed, and it's not worth the resources to just absolutely force something without having good champions for it. So if you have a good HP burn champion, make sure that you invest a little bit more here. It's nice for silver, it's nice for the accessories, definitely worth it, but for me it's not a high priority. Now, when we're talking about the rest of the dungeons, Sand Devil and Phantom's Grove, not really, my lineup is a little bit too weak for that, will happen later. But then we come to the Fire Knight, and I talked in my latest video about how I have a plan for Fire Knight, because now I need to start to get myself more crit damage gear. I want to have regeneration gear, savage gear and stun gear. That's 4 sets that are absolutely amazing, and you will be able to use them for a lot of different areas within the game. So Fire Knight is going to be the next one where I not only want to go to stage 20, but where I also want to go higher and see if I can farm 21, if I maybe can farm 25. So we'll see how much I can do once that I get the wolf, the epic wolf that is currently in the fusion, a bit higher, but that's going to be the next goal. And just generally speaking, when we're talking about dungeons, Dragon Slayer and Fire Knight is what you're going to farm the most, together with Spider's Den. So that's pretty much the dungeons for now that we have. Everything else is running pretty fine with the arcane keeps. All of the keeps, the potion keeps, are at a maximum. Arena, I'm pretty happy with that too. Classic Arena, I'm consistently in Gold 5 right now, which makes it a bit difficult for me to win, because as you can see, I'm currently level 57, I go up against level 100 consistently, so I'm just farming these individual ones, and I'm getting the points that I need for the Great Hall. That's all that this is at the end of the day, and I'm getting decent rewards from the weekly chests too. Live Arena is going pretty okay. I can maybe focus a little bit more on this. I actually plan on also uploading another Live Arena video next. And then on top of that we have Tag Team Arena, where I'm currently in Bronze 4. Not a high priority. The problem with my lineup is just basically I have too many that are 50s. I need a few more 60s, which we just talked about a second ago. But I also don't want to waste my resources on any champion out there. I want to really save them for champions that are absolutely worth it, and also wait a little bit to see what my next pulls are going to be, especially once there's an ancient pull. With that said, Clan Boss, Chimera, I'm currently running on a level where I can farm normal. So I have the highest chest on normal right now with Chimera with 2 keys. Super happy with that too. Definitely one of the top performers over here in the clan that I'm currently in, and fairly easily also beating out people that are way ahead of me. So this is a lineup, even with my level 50 here, that still works quite nicely. So I'm super happy with the 5 core heroes that I have, or 5 or 6. And then when we're talking about the Demon Lord, the highest that the clan that I'm in can currently go for is Nightmare. We broke through Brutal roughly a week ago, and I am very comfortably getting the highest chest, the ultimate chest, with 3 keys. And I'm starting to actually touch on the 2 key here. So I don't have a speed tuned team yet. So this is really all this generic team that I've been running for a long while. we have Michelangelo and especially also Frozen Banshee pulling most of the damage in, but this is working exceptionally well for me. I'm soon going to get to a point, I would assume, where I can also start farming the highest chest with 2 keys, but since I'm currently running 4 keys per day, I have 3 on Nightmare, and I can get the Brutal chest, the highest chest with 21 million damage with 1 key. So for my 4 keys per day, works really well, no complaints. Gonna take a bit until we're breaking through into Ultra Nightmare, and until then I have hopefully a deeper lineup that allows me to do more as well in that area. And yeah, with that said, Doom Tower, I mean, it's always a little bit of a back and forth. One of the things, by the way, as a little bit of a tip, if you're trying to break through the Scarab, you can essentially, with a well-equipped Michelangelo, solo the Scarab at the beginning. So obviously, as you're progressing farther and it gets harder and harder, you need more shield-based lineups. But right now, if you have problems, just run Michelangelo solo. That's all that you need. And he has his auto shield and he's going to take it down. There's a lot that he can do with your sets, obviously. You can get a specific champion that does nothing but break through here. On my main account, I used an Armiga in, I don't even know what the set is called on the top of my head, but with a set that breaks through the max HP in the shield and turns it down slowly. But yeah, so you can do that as well. I don't want to invest the resources here for that. And again, Michelangelo absolutely does the trick on this. So this is kind of where we are right now with the account. Again, very, very happy. Also, one thing that I should probably quickly show is my High Cartoon. I haven't upgraded her to 60 yet. I talked about this in the past, but she is still fairly fast. So I have currently 2 hits into my speed on attack on my weapon. I have 3 hits on my helmet, 2 hits into speed on my shield. It's a 6-star shield as well. Then another 2 hits on my gloves. I have 3 on the chest plate, unfortunately just a 5-star, and then I have the speed boots that are also 6-star. I have so far not gotten the ascension for extra speed there, but this still brings me to, as you can see, at 263 speed, which is pretty respectable for a 50 that doesn't run a banner. So very happy with that, and I'm currently beating most of the people that I'm going up against in live arena and in normal arena, outside of them running, of course, a really nice Arbiter, for example. But for a 3-month account, this is a really solid speed lead that has helped me a lot in those areas. High Cartoon, not something that I think is worth getting to 60 right now, or I could make her even faster. I will update all of these items as I get more and more speed items, but for now it's fine. And once I have an Arbiter, I'm going to swap all of that over and I'm going to make her even faster than that. But this is the idea right now. Not even using books for High Cartoon. Most of the books have gone into Gorm, and I have also put books into Ugo. That puts me in a point where I'm now starting to use books with the next CBC. Haven't really fully decided on who I'm going to invest them into, but there's still some work to be done. Same is, by the way, also true when we're talking about someone like Michelangelo. So Michelangelo still needs a couple of books, which I, by the way, have, but I'm saving them for the clan versus clan event, because this is where you should dump your books if you can. So that's a little bit of an idea of where we currently are. And I hope that gave you a small overview of what's going on with the account after 3 months. Very happy with how quickly this progresses, and especially, as I said before, Michelangelo and Alice are pulling here the heavy work. Your account should be roughly at the same point if you started. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I have and that I heavily rely upon is either free, either through codes or through the login rewards, and someone like Frozen Banshee should have dropped for you by now just by pulling shards. So that alone will help you a ton. Now, if you have any specific questions, if you're maybe not quite on the same level with your own account, maybe you're struggling with the Dragon Slayer, with Fire Knight, with anything else, drop a comment in the comment section. I'm always happy to help. Again, I've been playing the game for years on end. I have a high level account too, but the Free2Play account here was a lot of fun so far. And it's actually interesting to see, you know, how all of this is coming together again when you just start out. So I'll keep you updated on the journey. We have a couple of projects right now, especially with the Fire Knight. But if there are any questions that you might have where you're currently thinking, hey, I'm struggling with this and I need a bit of help or I need a bit of advice, feel free to just post a comment in the comment section and I'll help out. So that's the update for now. As I said, super happy. Hope that you guys learned something and could follow the journey here. And I'll see all of you in the next video. Having a good one. Bye-bye.